Recording in progress.
I need to be live in. Wait, we set to live in YouTube as well.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Andi.
Yeah, thank you for joining our CC-APAC leader talk. Today we will talking about the change and adoption of CRM with the new wave of CX. And with me, Yvonne from Malaysia. Yeah.
Hello, hi everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, Yvonne. Okay, thank you for joining us for our discussion today. And let me start with introduction of the Yvonne. I think it's the best for us to let Yvonne to introduce herself, including about the company and what she's doing. Please.
Okay, thank you, Andi. Thanks for having me. Yeah. My name is Yvonne. I'm actually from ANBBIZ Sdn Bhd in Malaysia.
Today. Go ahead.
Sorry. So I'm actually from Malaysia. We are a CRM and CX company. We actually have been around in the industry close to 19 years. Yeah. And we have been doing more implementations between multiple sectors. And one of the key things that we always do in most of our implementations is we are very process and operation driven, even though we are technology companies, but we believe in ensuring that you get the right formula, the right way, and successful implementation is to look into the process side and the business side, not just from a technology angle. Yeah. So we are happy to be with you here today to share a little bit more in terms of our experiences in some of the implementation. Thank you, Andi.
Okay, but you're still mute.
Sorry, I mute the. Thank you. Yeah. So your company is ANBBIZ, yeah. So you are explain about this is, and we are talking today about the CRM. So can you tell us what is about CRM?
Okay.
Especially CX as well.
Okay. Now, when we look at CRM, I believe, today most organizations, especially in contact center, when you implement and set up your contact center, typically you will have your contact center systems, and the other key components is basically CRM system, yeah. And where you use to register customer information, and you keep it in your repository. These are the customer that calls and the information about the customer, information about their inquiries. Yeah. So typically, if you look at a very old school approach to CRM is, this is what we do in contact center. Okay, so like Pa Andi, where we were chatting, we were talking, see, but CRM and CX, how does this comes about? How does we correlate all this together? And so one of the things that maybe I would love to also share, in terms of how we correlate this together, but before we go into this correlation, I think it's always best for us to, take one step back and see, what is CX to you and what is CX to me, because there is a lot has been talked about in the industry today, but when we just wanted to share my experience, because when we go into implementations at some of the customer sites, we notice, one of the key foundation in those implementation and framework is your key understanding on CX and your objective, because when we look at CX, typically we want to make sure that your objective, what is basically objective of you looking at your CX strategy in the first place? Because one of the things when we look at CX strategy, typically you want to make sure that you reduce churn, your customer stays with you, the customer buys more from you, right? So that is where there is, keep focusing, in recent years has been focused so much on CX, because we want to use CX to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And then one of the key things that we always see a lot in forums, in websites, people there are talks around, how we implement a CX strategies that, wow your customers.
Yeah.
Right. So like, Andi, you may have a different definition. Everybody has a different definition of that, right? So for me personally, when I go into this implementation with a lot of clients, I always want to take one step back, because I love the factor of us doing a wow experience, but we look from a business and continuity basis. Are we able to sustain the wow factor? Right? Because today, if assuming I walk to a bank, the officers help me and give me the service that I needed, and I'm very happy with the service. But on top of it, he may have taken a certain extra step to even check about Yvonne and say that maybe Yvonne used to have this problem, but haven't been resolved. It's still there, but I may have forgotten. Then the officer offer me to even help me, and that is beyond my expectation. Once it's beyond my expectation, that becomes a wow factor, right? So I love that service. But the second time when I go to the same organization or the same bank, it back straight in my head, I say, this bank service super good. But the second time I go, I'm also expecting that superb, because my expectation is already set so high. So when we were doing implementation, a lot of customers were telling us, we want to do these strategies, and we want these strategies to create this impact. Then I say, yes, I love that. But are you able to sustain?
I see. So it's very difficult to maintain the wow customer, because CX is talking about the wow customer.
Correct. So all the time I try, what we do is we sit down, we brainstorm with the customer, we take one step back. More important today, if you are a customer, even let's say, for example, you go to a place and you wow them. But if there is a restaurant that you go, wow, they serve you super delicious food and you love it so much, you go there, right? The second time, or suddenly a new restaurant comes about, where's the loyalty? Even though you can wow customer at point A, restaurant A, they still go to restaurant B because it's new. So in a lot of time when we look at customer experience, right, we also have to look into behavior aspect.
I see.
Right? So because the behavior is such already. So why do we want to spend so much to wow? But why don't we ensure that our service is consistent?
Yeah.
Okay. and we also ensure the customer effort, the effort of the customer to reach out to the organization to get the resolution is minimized as low as possible.
I see.
That become more sustainable and you can replicate.
I see. So is it become a challenge or this is become opportunity for contact center?
Become an opportunity.
Yeah. So how what do you think?
Okay. I just like to throw this scenario. You think about this. So if I am I just pick bank because all of us are customers of any bank, right? I'm not going against the bank, sorry, just an example. So but if you see today, we use internet banking, right? So imagine I'm a customer, I use internet banking, I go and do my transaction. At certain point of time, sometimes you have problems with your transaction, right? When you have problems, system-wise got error code. Yvonne, this is the ID, this one is an error code inside her system. But when, from a customer point of view, when I have a problem, where do I go? I will call the contact center, right? When I call the contact center, typically is, I will still listen, press 1, press 2, press 3, press 4, and probably my selection is all the way to press 5. I have to wait from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
I want us to take one step back and challenge ourselves to say that if Yvonne call, can I change the prompt of internet banking to be 1?
Yeah.
Why do I want to make Yvonne wait until 5?
Yes.
Right? But Andi, imagine if that's the case.
Yes.
Right?
Or it skipped directly to the agent. Yeah.
Correct. And I guess that is the reason why I say it becomes an opportunity. When we were looking and exploring at this, most of the time when we see a lot of CRM implementation, because the implementation of CRM is just basically, who's the customer, I register the problem, yes, I close the case is closed. But that should not be the only factors that you're looking at. CRM is actually much more than that. Imagine today, I can fetch the data from the backend. I know when Yvonne key in this number, okay, I can identify Yvonne, and straight away, information about me failing my transaction, my error code, is kept in CRM. CRM work together with your call center. This is where digital transformation is, to collaborate all your technology together. When we are able to link all together, then I can straight away give you the prompt. It's simple, right?
Yes. But in terms of the current condition, because I think most people not trying to call, but they're chatting, they're using mobile apps. So
it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? Yeah.
So when you are chatting, actually you need to, if maybe you recognize some priority customer, you give them more expert people to handle that one. Yeah.
Correct. Even chatting is also the same thing, because what we are trying to do is to bring the information, empower your consultant.
Yeah.
So if the consultant is actually aware that there is this, in the last 1 hour, I have this failed transaction and I call. Obviously, if the customer call you right after this, what are the chances of they calling for that problem that they have?
I see.
Right?
So the key here is about how we collect all the data about the customer. Yeah. How about we call it? We identify the level of customer. What is the transaction interaction? And I think this is the power of CRM.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, the power of the CRM. Okay.
Yes.
So what I mean, I want to be elaborate about actually what do you think contact center need to do? Yeah, in terms of that, is it talking about the technology or is it talking about what? What do you think?
I would say it is a combination. As much as me as a technology vendor would love to say it's all about the technology, but unfortunately, it is not all about the technology.
Technology, yeah.
right? Because you know the point here that when we talk, and I shared earlier, CX is talking about behavior.
Yeah.
If you want to even first look at the CX, one of the things is also culture. Yeah, organization culture, the behavior internally, how do we help to shape this culture so that happy employees equals to happy customers, right? If the employees is happy, I will take the extra mile. And when Andi come in, when I'm in a good mood, I will serve you very well. I mean, this is human behavior, right?
Yeah.
So how do we change this, And then that is one aspect. The second aspect that we should be looking at is process. When we are doing for a lot of banks today, of insurance and a lot of organization, I noticed one key thing. The process element is not, being really optimized, because a lot of time the process and the ownership is not being looked into. Because in contact center today, if you see, contact center being the custodian to customer issues.
Yeah.
We own it up, but contact center should not be the only department that own up.
I see.
Right? But Andi, we cannot solve everything. We still need the back office, But if the back office are not collaborating and it's not part of the whole process, you don't see the visibility, you do not know what's happening, and the ownership don't change throughout the journey. Because when we look at customer journey, basically, obviously the ownership will have to transfer from each department throughout the journey, right? So it goes the same as well. We contact center is accountable, but it does not mean we are the sole owner of all customer issues.
I see.
And that is something that we need to look at.
Yeah. Do you want to say that the CRM, actually, we are not talking in the contact center. We are talking about every every unit in organization connected to the CRM. So collecting all the data interaction with the customer. Is it?
Yes, that is what I actually referring to, Andi, because, we more and more today, we want to know about the customer. A quick glance, you go in, you see about customer. But CRM is not able to give you a quick glance and see the customer if your operation is silo. Right?
Yeah. You need to fix the silo of organization before implementing the CRM itself. Yeah.
Correct. Actually, in fact, we did a few implementation right now where we are doing, more enterprise-wide, because if for today, if you walk to a call center, you contact call center, either phone or you do a digital, you do chat, or you simply walk to a branch or you call the branch. All right, we should not call the branch, we walk to the branch. So regardless of all the touch points, we should be able to consolidate. So I can say, Andi, I understand you came to our branch before and you're having this particular issue. The team is working on it. Rest assured, we shall be getting back to you. You also feel good suddenly, wow, she knows that I walk to the branch. Right?
So it means that contact center can take advantage of the CRM because CRM can collect all the information of the interaction of the customer, even though if they are doing interaction through web, through store or branches, everywhere. Yeah.
Every touch points. Because when we talk about CRM, we talk about customer, and customer touch points is everywhere in your organization.
I see.
As long as there is a touch points, you need to be able to consolidate so that you can map the journey. And if you are able to do that, one upper hand to the contact center is you're also reducing your average handling time. If you notice that, Just now, imagine if I call the call center and you already know that I have problem with internet banking. The first selection is already there, and the agent is already know Yvonne is having problem with that. She is going to complain about that, right? So agents straight away can handle. Okay, Yvonne, we understand. You know, you are doing this. You know, that average handling time of you trying to understand why am I calling you? It's already cut off. You know. So that is also good for the contact center.
Even though with the current condition, I saw that many organizations have set up super apps. They are combined. They're talking with others like e-commerce connected to travel agency and all the things. Banking and payment gateway and so on. So all interconnected. So I mean that the CRM now is not only limited to organization but also combined with other third party. So what do you think?
Yes, we start to combine with third party because, you know, like it or not, the interaction don't stop there within the organization. Right? And I think, Pak Andi, like it or not, business being business today, you know, we are also looking at all possible means and ways for us to upsell and cross-sell.
I see.
You know, collaboration with the partners, you know. So I may not want to give you full info, but I give you sufficient info that Yvonne is in need for this type of service. I think it's good enough, you know, because you can then engage with me and then you can explore more. Because sometimes there are, you know, these security concerns in terms of data and all those things, right? So there are still ways for you to maneuver within it, you know, to give people sufficient info just to get one step ahead. That's it.
Does it also mean that actually organization don't need to fill in all the things because other vendor can be combined together? I mean that if you are a hotel, you don't need to be worried about the traveling, because other vendor can provide a car, can provide a flight, and so on, a payment gateway as well. So it's combined together all the data.
And that is actually a very good synergy if you look at it. Because
synergy,
like for example, Pak Andi, you know, I don't do training. But if we do have a customers that requires training and you can do the certification, why do I want to invest to bring trainers in when you already have all your competent trainer and you're doing an excellent job? And I know that the result is going to be very good. I might also say, Pak Andi, can you help me train my team? Can you help me train my customers? You know, so there is basically a synergy that we do, you know, in the whole, it is like you're trying to build the whole ecosystem for it.
Sure. So now CRM, GX become ecosystem to combine together. Okay. My next question, actually, what do you think need to be considered when we implementing CRM or GX in company or organization? What do you think? We need to step by step, or what need to be considered?
I know I'm going against myself again, but
that's fine. Just to make sure, I mean, that our participants are saying, oh, this is what I need to consider, because some people may be thinking, I just buy the application and application can provide me all the things. Okay. What do you think?
I would like to share a recent project that I'm actually working on. Because initially the customer came, we onboard the customers. And, you know, when we start our project, we ask the customers a lot of business questions, you know. Where do you want to go? First and foremost, what is your roadmap, you know? And what is your process today? What are your challenges today, you know? But when we were going into those areas, you know, a lot of time we don't get the answers. Now, let me just tell you why, you know, because if you already have a roadmap, you know, and you are able to share with us the vendor,
Yeah.
I mean, technology vendor per se, okay? Let's look at it this way. We know where you want to achieve. But that does not mean the current state, we must immediately achieve that. But at least when we were doing your design, we can cater for what you want to achieve. You know, because a lot of time I notice one thing. I find very sayang, you know, very wasted, you know, you kind of like, you have to invest. Then after a while, then you say, I want to do this, but this one cannot. I have to bring another one. Then I have to do integration. There is also another cost to you, right? Yeah. But then sometimes you may have to throw away the whole system and reinvent again.
Yeah.
You know, so I find, you know, and that is something which I love to see the change, you know, because if you are able to really know what you want, I know it takes a lot of time, you know, and brainstorming internally and so, but if you are not sure or what, you know, it's okay to sit down and explore, you know, and see what's new, where you want to ultimately reach, you know, draw that line, draw that objective, you know, a roadmap, and then share that with your vendor.
Yeah.
You know, because if we are able to understand, then we are able to draw and give you a foundation that can reach that. It's just like a building. If you are building one floor and you're building 10 floors, your foundation is different.
Yeah.
You know, and that is something I think personally, Pak Andy, is very important, because even when that is the reason why when I was doing that particular project, halfway during the project we stopped. You know, we went back to the management and we told them, first, I don't see this part. Second thing is your process is not optimized yet. You know, if I were to go in and just do this implementation according to the process that you give me today, I am not able to give you added value. I'm not able to do automation for you. I'm not able to optimize for you. You know, so it was very good that you know, the customer then start to also work with us very closely. You know, and we get in the consultant to help them to sort out this part first. So my project, technical project, I put on hold. Because correct, I can't do, I mean, I find that it will be a waste for me to do that. And eventually you don't get the result or what you're expecting to, you know. And I think that is very important to even first look into it and start that portion first.
Yeah. Okay, agree about that. I mean, that this is very important that consultant need to be in place to evaluate the business before we implementing something as CRM. Yeah, because if they are thinking only collecting data and then there will be no value about that because they cannot use the data they collected in the CRM, their CRM. Even though sometimes I saw that some company implement CRM, very good at CRM. I mean that even very expensive as CRM, but at the end no value, just entry data. That's so. Okay. So you mentioned that implementation CRM need to be at the first. We need to understand the business. So what next after they understand the business?
When you are able to draw your roadmap, right?
Roadmap.
Then also look into your journey, customer journey.
Customer journey, okay.
Yes, because you know, once you already have your journey draw out in the whole journey mapping, I see a lot of journey mapping being mapped throughout the years. But I always find one gap, you know, which is in the journey map itself. At every stage of the journey map, what is the customer needs? What is the experience that you're trying to create? Then when you are able to see the needs and the experience, technology can easily help you to enable that.
I see.
You know, that, but we have to take at each stages as well.
I see.
You know,
When you say the customer journey, do you say that if they want to interact with one company, what kind of activity they do first? Maybe they go to branches, or they go to the directly contact center, or go to the e-commerce shopping. This is what you are talking about?
okay, what I'm talking about is, for example, you know, a typical customer journey will be, you know, from a point of creating awareness to the market,
Yeah.
right? To the point where customers start to see, engage with you, explore,
Yeah.
and then sales, prospecting, onboarding, and onboarding the customer. So you have that typical stages, right?
I see.
So let's say, for example, we just take one particular stage, which is just the awareness stage, you know, because in just the awareness stage itself, you know, we look into, first and foremost, where is your target market?
Yeah.
Right? Because that target market will tell me what platform, digital platform I should be using.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, once I know my target market, I will need to then see what are the needs for this target market.
Okay.
So that my content meets that need, right? And my information, or my, you know, typically when we do marketings, or we do blasting, and so we have the headline to catch people's eyes, and those are basically tying to your needs.
Yeah.
You're trying to hit the needs, right? So that needs has to be established. You can you know, use the system